talked about growing your business. What have you found to be helpful as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, not just as an artistic person, to understand the right steps to take?
Well, um, so I think choosing to go to the Academy of Art, which was not a vocational school, it was definitely a university, but they had a lot of classes that were geared towards the business of photography. So we took an editorial photography class, where we got to take a trip to New York and we went into Rolling Stone and we went to, you know, different photographers' studios. We learned about the business of photography. How do you put together a book? How do you put together a website? How do you put together, all these different aspects of your marketing? And also, how do you estimate a job? Because that's one of the hardest things to do in photography, because there's no hard and fast rule. You just know that there's charging too little, and the industry frowns upon it because you just kind of bring down what everyone else can charge. But constantly in forums that I'm in, people are asking, how much would you charge for this job? How much would you charge for this job? And it's never the same because the licensing is different. The use is different. You know what I mean? So learning how to turn to other people for advice was a big step in the right direction. And using what I had known from working, at consulting firms or banks or whatever before, in terms of how to put together proposals that looked professional, making sure that a lawyer looks over your contracts to make sure you haven't missed anything. Growing my business, I don't know that there was just one particular thing, but definitely realizing I needed to get published in order to get my name out there was a big step in the right direction.
So if someone's looking to get published now, they're wanting to take some of the same steps you did and grow, get their name out there. What do you suggest they do?
So the face of publishing has changed. Before, you would have a big printed portfolio book that you would just FedEx around to the different, or you would go to New York, let's say, you go to the different agencies and you would bring your book. But now, because of your portfolio can be online, you just have to know where to send the link to your portfolio. You know what I mean? But also you have to be diligent. You can send out printed promotional matter, like there are certain people who still just send out like these beautiful booklets, or you just have to get your name recognized over and over. And you have to have patience. You have to know that the first time that you reach out to a magazine, they may say no, and they may say no the sixth time. The seventh time, because they keep seeing your name, they might say yes. You know what I mean? And once you are able to get published, then the bigger companies, like the commercial companies, they're like, oh, I've seen that name. I trust them with this amount of money. And that's because editorial work it does not pay well, but you get recognition for it. You get, it's free PR. So I highly recommend trying to get published if you can. Do research, find out who the other people who are getting published are, follow their work, study it. You know what I mean? You kind of have to know, the market.